Hello, my friends. Many years ago, where I was being kind of nailed as a highly sensitive being by a coach that I worked with to bring out my work. And in those days, figuring out, who is it best for me to work with, who resonates with my message, with my work, with my energy. And I had been trying in the wrong places, thinking it was this or that. And then one day she just nailed me and said, you're supposed to work with highly sensitive people. And when because you are one, and I was like, ooh, I kind of cringed a little bit. It's like, I don't want to be that because I thought they were a little weird and a little airy fairy and whatnot. And then I just looked at, that's a little judgmental, Pernilla. What's that about? So I had to look inside. And of course, it was because I had denied my own highly sensitivity, high sensitivity, and I just hadn't embraced it. I was, keeping it out there and trying, I need to work like this. So that was an interesting discovery, and it was actually really, really beautiful to see it because I could finally own myself and the frequency and the expression that was natural to me. I don't know if you can relate to that you may have a little bit of a judgment about the highly sensitive people. And I know some highly sensitive people are very, very highly sensitive, and I would imagine it's very hard for those to really be here in the world. I was not like at that high range, but enough for her to say, ahem, here's something you need to know about yourself. So when I went through my own little uh, inquiry inside and really looking at that, then it became very obvious that this is really part of me, very, very sensitive. I'm not very I don't identify very much with this world at all. I once had a psychic saying to me, he's like, well, you're very detached. And I was like, yeah. And I just can't relate a lot to this world. So why am I saying that today? Well, maybe you can relate to that also. And maybe we are not here to do the work that most people do, to really work hard at making things happen. So you might wonder, like, well, what are we here? What are we supposed to do here now? What is it that brought us down here during these times? And the more I just rest deeply in my own beingness and just feel into, what it is, what it wants, how it expresses, then I know without a shadow of a doubt, at least now, it can change tomorrow. Things change, right? But for now, it's very obvious that it's really just being, being. And when I be, am that I am, then it's like I just kind of fall into something bigger than myself. And when I hang out there, I am connected with the field. And that's how it is for all of us. So, to stitch it back to when I talk a lot about longing, I think really feeling into what it is that we deeply long for, not just like longing for things or experiences, but really coming into the depth of our longing, which is coming from the inside, right? And then land in there. And when I feel my longing, there is just to be that, there just to be that, and to just be an open vessel for that, not knowing what that will look like. And that's why I talk about it all the time, because that is what's coming out of this. And hopefully, maybe reaching others who feel the same. It's like, I don't want to do anything in this world that is, that's the material and the denser energies, it's just not for me. And those are things that we all need to learn to listen to and honor, because then you get into that your own frequency. And when we enter into our own frequency, there's like a click. There's just like, you just know, oh, this is it. And then you may not need to go out and try so hard what you're supposed to do. And of course, I know we live in this 3D world where we're programmed that we need to work hard in order to make money, in order to survive. That's all the programming, and it will kick in as soon as you connect with this. Then this kicks in. It's like, well, what are you going to do now? How are you going to pay your rent and all that stuff? Yeah, it's part of it. And you can't just unhook from that whole thing physically. You can begin to unhook from it emotionally, where the attachments are to those beliefs. But in the meantime, take as much time as you possibly can to just stay with this sweet longing in your heart. I know I talk a lot about this, but that's what I do. That's my thing. And you need to find your thing so you can express it in whatever way you do it. But this is for me the sweet spot in me, my landing place, my foundation. And when I rest in that, there's just a sweetness. There's just a sweetness and some peacefulness. And that's what I want. So why would I leave it? And I can almost hear somebody say, well, how are you going to pay your rent and how are you going to pay your bills and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know. I know. And I still take practical action also to do that, but it's not coming from that old way of trying really hard to make things work and make them happen and make money. It's still necessary, but the more I take out the charge from engaging in it, there's more space to be at peace. And then the peace and the energy of this inner experience, now it can start taking more birth in my life. But if I keep holding on to this, the programmed identities and the things we're supposed to do, then there is not much energy left to go in here, in our hearts, and find out, oh, it's like you need to drop into it and open up to it and say, show me, show me. And then we'll see what comes out of it. So, what are we as light workers supposed to do now? The world is getting a little bit crazier every day, and it looks like it's going to go on for a while. So, what are we supposed to do now? I have made a few videos about that in some months ago, I think. I'll put the link up here. And we really are here to hold that frequency. I mean, if we identify as a light worker, and that can be in any shape, way, shape, or form, right? That can be a teacher, a coach, a healer, a shaman, whatever, a midwife, whatever it is that you relate to. That is because we are here as light holders, as beings of light, holding a certain frequency, which has been lost in the world. So if you imagine yourself, along with so many other ones of us, that we came here with a frequency that that we had more access to, maybe because most of us still got lost in the world for many years. But now, just check in with yourself. Aren't you connected with something like, this is not right. There's something wrong in the world. This is not how it's supposed to be. There's something much bigger and more beautiful and more graceful and loving and easy that how it's supposed to be. And that is because we feel that in here. That means we have not lost touch with it, but we have turned away from it. So my invitation is always to come back, feel it, honor it, let yourself open up to it. And then you will probably know what you came here for. And it may be very different than your mind has been trying to tell you or has been trying to figure it out. It doesn't come from a place of, oh, I need to go money. So I need to make money. So I'm just going to try out these things. I'm going to try this and this. But if it's not coming from here, the depth of your being, the depth of the sweetness that you are, the longing, that sweet feeling of longing or yearning that you feel, then you're still disconnected from bringing in these higher frequencies, these more light-filled energies, we can call them. And you're not helping raise the frequencies. You're not helping giving birth to the new earth. It's not new, but it's here and it's available when we turn towards it. And it's really like making ourselves available for it. I've sometimes done this, like, just kind of tune into the field. Tune into the field. And in that, it's like you're an antenna and you just make yourself available for that. And then you see what happens. Don't expect that you're going to get a download of like, oh, you have to do this and you have to 1, 2, 3 and bullet points and you have to do this. It's not how it works in the field. It doesn't, that's not there. That's something we do here in the programmed reality. But when you're connected there, you don't know what's going to happen. And that's why it can be a little scary in the beginning if we're still too attached, to the things of the world. Survival is a big one, obviously. But the more you let that go, you just like, you stay here. And then you stay there with a curiosity. That to me is the true prayer. It's like, well, okay, I'm connected. I'm sensing there's something here. Now you show me. You may not even be able to feel it. You may not have any awareness of it, but you know inside that something is off and there's something else that's more true. That's where you long for something and you know something is here. And that's what you just tune into then to your best ability and just open up to it and keep just asking, saying, show me, show me, show me, because I do not know. I don't know if that answers the question. What are we as light workers? What do we do? Why are we here now, right? What are we supposed to do now? That would be my first invitation, to go in and start feeling that field of light, that field of love, that presence, that sweetness, that longing. There's many words for it, but it's something you go like, something's off. There's something else here that feels more true. Stay with that. Just keep it really, really simple. It's not complicated. The mind likes to complicate it. The programming that we have been indoctrinated with, that makes it complicated. But when you go to the simplicity and the purity of what you kind of already know, but nobody's been confirming it or helping you with it, you just stay there and say, okay, I'm here now. Now I hand over the reins. So there's definitely a surrender element, a big surrender element. And you just practice it. It may not happen overnight that you have a full-blown opening, but you just stay with it. And little by little, that wall that we have all built around our hearts and our intuition and our wisdom, little by little, every time we tune in, we just kind of give a little blow to it. And it softens and it thins, and eventually there'll be some cracks in there where you go, oh, now I know, I want to go do this, I want to go do that. So want to give it a try? Please let me know. I would love to hear your comments below. And also please like, subscribe, share, comment. It would be lovely to stay connected with you. All right, my friends, have a wonderful rest of the day.